Hello YouTube, this is Sam. In my last few videos I've shared a little bit on the consonant and dissonant values that derives from the notational relationship of the overtone series and how certain tones are related to an initial tone which is played through a given instrument. But what I'm going to show you here are the intervals of a chromatic scale. This is directly out of Vincent Persichetti's 20th century harmony book, because he is presenting the materials of music in his book before he gets into the scales. So I guess I took that I guess I took that as a model, and so I wanted to present the overtone series because I wanted to share a little bit on how the how the overtone series relates to the major and the minor scale, given its intervals, the relationship of all the tones, and I just want to show where, and what I see, I wanted to show where the scales derived from, because I really believe they derive from a single tone. Because a scale is a way of establishing a tonal center with the relationship of all the notes of that scale. So, here's the picture. I showed this to you earlier, but I decided I'd draw it out. And these are the consonant and dissonant values of intervals. So, if you look here, Vincent Persichetti, shares the sharp dissonant values, which are your major seventh and your minor second down here, and these are inversions of one another, the major seventh and the minor second. You might hear these intervals on some type of soundtrack. I know I've heard these intervals on a soundtrack like The Matrix. Seems like especially when there's something really intense, there's a sharp dissonant value of the minor second or the major seventh to bring in so much tension it almost like makes the scene of whatever the movie might be very eerie, and like almost like the T-Rex is coming and he's just walking through the woods like in Jurassic Park, and it's like just some really high shrill or something like that. That's an example of how these sharp dissonances could be used. So whenever you hear those really, really sharp tones that play together, and it's just like like you have your fingers just screeching down a chalkboard, and anyways, that's a lot to take in. Deep breaths. Okay, so those are your sharp dissonances. Just think of the creepiest movie you could ever think of, and that's what it sounds like, especially with the high tension. Anyways, we're gonna skip to another page. We got the mild dissonances. And the mild dissonances are your major second and your minor second. Your major second and your minor seventh. Excuse me, guys. The cool thing about your minor seventh is flat 7 is known for the Mixolydian scale. It's actually a very beautiful tone, and this is actually this note, B flat, is actually what creates the Mixolydian scale in the sense of balancing the scale. That's a little bit on the Mixolydian scale. I'm going to be getting into the scales later. I just want to put a little bit of emphasis on each interval so you can know and kind of be exposed to what's kind of going to come in the future as I present more and more on the materials of music and as we develop the musical palette. Yes, it's going to be great. I know it. I know it. So, that is the minor seventh and, way over here, the major second. Okay, now we're getting into the minor third. Remember, the minor third and the major third were the intervals that were the modal establishment. And I got a little bit into that, and I thought about my thinking on jazz and the modal establishment and the circle of fourths and how that all worked, and I just know that modal establishment is unique because it is based, it can be used to be shifted from one scale to another through a mode or another mode, through maintaining a tonal center or through a bass line. That's something really unique. I have all these ideas that just kind of come up. So as I'm inspired just sharing this with you guys, I just hope you guys are inspired too, because really, as I'm sharing this with you, yes, there is theory, and there's the theory side of things, and maybe there's something you disagree with, which is fine. I mean, everybody needs a critic, and sometimes we need to be challenged that way. But anyways, those are the mild dissonances of the... Okay, that was... Oh, here we go. The soft consonances. Yeah, with the minor third and the major third, but also the minor sixth and the major sixth. And so these are both inversions of one another. If you notice, every pair that's grouped, like the major second and the minor seventh, are grouped together because those are both inversions of one another. Just like when I was showing you the staff, it's like the treble clef is actually just a mirror image of the bass clef. It's just a direct inversion from one clef to the next. So, we're always thinking symmetrically when we're thinking about music, because actually, just as the circle of fifths goes around, so does the circle of fourths, and I'll get more into that later, because I have some things to share with you. Wow! Okay, so, we're not going to be too dramatic here. There we go. There's 20th century harmony, and hopefully this is keeping your attention. I mean, I know this stuff can get boring, but here we go. Perfect fourth. The thing about I like Vincent Persichetti's approach to presenting the perfect fourth because it is in context to a consonant or dissonant value, and when he says something can be consonant or something can be dissonant, he's meaning this can be either or in the context of the harmonic fabric being used modally or tonally in the sense of what is being emphasized in the music. And that's what makes the tritone ambiguous. It can be consonant and chromatic progressions or dissonant and diatonic progressions.